What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic live stream on Sunday. You can be doing so many different things, but you decided to put your eyeballs here on this trading craziness stuff here on a Sunday evening for most people. But yeah, this is going to be quite a week. I've talked to a lot of people showed up early for the stream. Dave, Jason, Alan was there asking some really good questions on a lot of earnings, coming out. We can talk about some of those. We have NIO after the bell. Jason asked about Clover, and then also some components of Workhorse, and then potentially seeing this very strong greenish kind of move here in the futures. Of course, as we speak, the S&P 500's up about 33 points, nearly 1%. Gold's up nearly 1% at 16 points. The NASDAQ is well over 1.15% at 150 points nearly. We have the Russell's well up at 1.6% at 35 points. And then we got the VIX down 3.16% as well. So yeah, it's very much an interesting time in the market because again, we'll talk about some levels that we need to look at to kind of see this breakout. So we can see a maybe a rebound, maybe a V-shaped recovery. Who knows? We'll just have to kind of sit tight and let the cards hit the deck, or what's it called when the cards hit the board or whatever. The cards get flipped over. What, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Yes. Let's see here. I didn't have any coffee tonight. I did have some delicious jasmine green tea. GT saying, let's crash another 10%. Let's go. You're trading gold right now. You're in the futures. Yeah, gold's a very interesting chart to look at. Like, look at this thing. Like this thing, it's been kind of like trending lower here. We had like a double top here around that 1950-ish range. It's kind of come back down pretty strong here. Alan says, I'm going to ask about AMC, but people are saying that they see a cup and handle pattern. Would love to get your take on the 1 hour chart. So yeah, Alan, we can definitely look at AMC. AMC 1 hour chart, you say? Cup and handle? Or is it cup and handle? Okay, so Alan, I don't like to put what's the word, thing or patterns on there. Like when people say cup and handle, that's somewhat a little bit easier to decipher. But I wouldn't really call it a cup and handle. If you want to be like truly technically speaking, it's more of a on the hourly chart. It's a very rough cup and handle. Like it was maybe dropped. And the cup broke, and then you took crazy glue and you try to fix it, but it's kind of somewhat of a potentially kind of a wave higher here. Again, it's AMC, very much momentum driven, Alan. So I think you understand that you've been in this for a while. We do have a squeeze setting up. We have three red dots here on the squeeze going from red to yellow. So what we saw that previously, to kind of give you some insight, we saw that big move down, but then we had the squeeze kind of shoot higher here. So what we could see potentially come Monday, that run up, it's kind of trading around that like 820-ish range. If it can hold there into the early morning trading hours, we can maybe get a run up to 909, which is a fib number before, which has broken out there before for AMC. If that continues moving higher and that momentum goes higher from 909, that next level will be around $11.31. On the contrary side, if that does not fire long and it actually fires short and it breaks $8, we could see that $7 to around $6.34 to the downside. But it's mostly going to be tied to how the pre-market goes and if there's any volume kind of propping this up. This is just, again, looking on Friday, a lot of things could have changed in the last 2 days in the sense of people's mindset from that, Alan. Jason says, very bullish on PLTR this week. Thoughts? I'm very bullish on PLTR long term. I don't know about this week. We could see some chop here. I did indicate on some of the charts that I share with the members on the Discord and so forth that we could see maybe a double bottom here in the short term. So around $22.69, if we do get a bounce off this level, we could maybe try to come up and level off here around the 89 EMA, which would be around that 24.75 or like the $25 level. So that's something that we could be looking at. The only thing at the same time, we do have the 5 and 8 moving averages moving aggressively down. It's always a good thing to look at too on if the stock has weekly options and the market makers are predicting basically a move of plus or minus $3. So that's always kind of have a good thing in the back of your mind looking at that. MJ says, hopefully the ride takes us up to the stairway to heaven and not down to the hell. Yeah, I think most people are bullish in the sense of wanting this market to go higher rather than lower. I hope so. Papa needs a tune-up. I know a lot of people did get hurt last week. I'm not laughing. That's the nervous laughter behind it. Yeah, those like yeah. Thoughts on NNDM, Jason? Yeah, NNDM, of course, another one that literally got thrown out with the bathwater last week. This again, heavy growth stock. You're seeing that momentum that was carrying it up higher here between that 5 and 8, 21 EMA. Then once the mood just changed, you had that reversal with the aggressive movement down from basically $14 all the way down to $9 and like broke below. Yeah, it's actually at $9.84 as of right now. Very aggressive move down. Can it rebound? Sure, why not? It's hitting that 89 EMA in the short term. That's going to be some support, but with this very damage that we got at a very fast pace, it's very hard to recover from that and just get a completely V-shaped recovery. Not saying it can't happen, but it would be somewhat healthier to kind of let this kind of meander around here a little bit. Maybe get a bounce up to around that 1187 here to kind of show that it still has a heartbeat. Rocket special dividend. Yeah, so a lot of the people in the Discord, we are in the old Rocket here, coming out with $1.11 dividend coming out on the 8th. So that's a nice little thing to, I need to write that actually in my calendar to make sure that is taken care of, that I have the right dividend there. So with that special dividend, we're seeing that potentially that stock could maybe get a little bit of boost on that, but most people just buy the dividend or get into the stock for the dividend, but people don't understand that the stock does pull back normally in that day to whatever the dividend is more or less for longer term shareholders, but people like to play that game. With Rocket here, if we can see that back up to $23 to $24, that would be a fantastic news and potentially see this try to break out here. It has short-term support around $21.50 though. Hello, my refund came in today. What refund? I bought silver. Woo! Good luck for silver. On Friday. Okay. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you pick up your phone and you text someone you care about and say, I love you, brother. I love you, sis. I love you, whoever it is, and just share the love. And at the same time, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. Do you like how I did something? I gave you something meaningful to do, and then I made you try to make you do something that is completely agnostic to what the first thing was. That's called reverse psychology. I read that in a book a long time ago. What up, Kelly D? Yeah, the Rocket does have a lot of short interest. That's a good thing to be mindful about. That could potentially move it up a little bit more, even though the short sellers can get scared of that. Again, this stock is fairly new, Rocket too. Like, and it's already coming out with a special dividend. Like, the only curse I want to talk about Rocket when it has this. So a lot of people know. If you don't know, your boy Ken loves the Costco, and Costco had a special dividend of $10. But ever since that $10 dividend, it was just a kiss of death, and it just continued to go down there. So I hope Rocket does not repeat that. That's just the way my analytical mind looks at things. And also, Costco has earnings next week too, so hopefully that gets a nice little bounce back. The thing's been hurting. It's more like a big gulp. What's up, David? Thank you again for helping me pick out all that fantastic stuff. I've watched a couple of them. I've learned so much about lenses. I can't regurgitate it quite yet. I need to watch more of it and understand it more. But I'm starting to understand the quality differences between the lenses that you showed. Johnny All Cash, sup Ken? Are you ready for the Fed to hike interest rates? Maybe. I actually want to work on a video this week, kind of diving down my potential thoughts on what we could see with the Fed, um, and kind of share the thoughts on that, and just kind of show some more analytical data behind it rather than just some talking, talking, talking. Kev T, what's up, my friend? What's silver at now? I don't even know. I actually don't actively track that. What's it's not SLV, right? What's SI or something? Yeah. Um, it's at 26.9. It's only up 1.85% as of right now. Earl G says thoughts on SPLK. Yeah, this is one that's kind of it's got beaten up, right? Yeah. Ooh, that's more than beaten up. That is a ooh, mama. That's a spicy meatball there. I gotta get the bear dance for that one. That is a not a not a fun looking chart there at all. I don't want to catch this falling knife, Earl G. I don't. Again, I'm not 100% familiar with the way you trade or invest here, but it is kind of coming down to a pivot point potentially. We do have earnings coming out on the 3rd, so that is be mindful about that. So with that caveat, be again, earnings is a coin flip. The last two earnings have not really performed. It looks like it's been kind of a mix. I'm not too familiar with the company. I know what they do, but that's a very heavy downselling movement here because it has had a lot of issues trying to get above the 174 to 175 range and has not been able to do so. And now it's kind of really trading lower here. It's been very much beaten up here, even on the weekly chart. It's not. It's just too much red for Ken, if you know that. If you know what I mean. And just it's if this was like a slow kind of burn down to 144, but this is like in 3 or 4 days. It's just like everyone just said, "F it, I'm done with this piece of SOPOS company, whatever." Can you check out BBY? Build a bear, build a bear. Holy GT, why didn't you tell me to buy this? Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't joined the Discord, you need to join the Discord. We have an alpaca, we have a bear, we have a Canadian, we have a Ryan, we have so many other great folks that just post great things, from memes to links, all kinds of great things. But Build a Bear is literally taking off here. That is fantastic. I did say that it's going to go to $7, but this schmuck that you're looking at with two thumbs pointing at him didn't take the trade because I think it was, for me, it was too much of a meme. But God bless you. I hope you had some real money behind that. And then Playboy, what's a PL? Like, I think the Playboy one is interesting, to be quite honest with you, on the merchandise and all the stuff they're getting into. Very aggressive kind of movement. We do have a squeeze set in place here, though. The RSI and volume zone oscillator both are kind of dormant here. It did come down to these parabolic SAR dots twice, so I kind of like to see that play out. So this is I know that I've been reading the stuff that you've been posting about this, but this was more in the sense of like getting like a lifestyle brand. And the one thing I think about the lifestyle brand is race. So Ferrari, once this thing kind of came public, this thing was like crazy on the run up that it had. Like Ferrari, like even though it sells a couple cars a year, it sells a boatload of merch. Boatload of merch. Big beautiful women playboy. Chris. This gonna be crazy times. Crazy times. Let's see here. Yeah, hey, Helion, Haley. I always pronounce this one, but this is like the one that kind of came public around with Nikola. Sadly, this sounds like could have been a great investment, but we're seeing potentially we could see a bottom here. It looks like it did have earnings, its first earnings ever, and kind of being negative, which is again somewhat predicted because again the company does make some products, but they're really ramping up on production things. With that being said, it looks like in the short term it has maybe some short term support around 15. But if that 15 does not hold, we could potentially fill that gap down and we can break well below 1286. Well, just in 1 week ago, I said Bitcoin would dip, and a lot of the people said that it wouldn't go and pull back. Here we are still waiting for that pullback, I guess. Uh, Ken, is SPY teetering on the 50-day? Next stop 365. Um, let's see here. I don't think SPY didn't break below the 20 or sorry, yeah, okay. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of the rut. Yeah, SPY is on the 55 actually. It hit the 55 EMA here around $377, and it is above the 50-day. If this does break, are you saying it's gonna bounce off this to go to 365 or go 365? So the next level I potentially have is if it does break would be going to around 371 to 370. That would be the next level to potentially be hit. Again, the first level is the Fibonacci number, and then the next level would potentially the 89 EMA there, Johnny. Is it worth to sell so I could free up cash for Amazon shares? What do you mean sell? What are you selling? Looking at Costco's chart, I think it has a nice recovery. Yeah, Costco's a great story. Again, I love my Costco, so I can't say anything. My bias is very strict on Costco. NIO, yes, NIO does have earnings this week. So actually, tomorrow after the bell, most people are like, hey, what do you think about NIO earnings? It's a coin flip. Most earnings that I believe, well, actually, I have to say 99.999 earnings are a coin flip because, again, management could say something, the numbers can be skewed in certain ways, analysts can say things, or you can just have a completely chaotic moment where everyone just throws it out and sells because they misinterpreted something. With that being stated, we are kind of in around that 89 EMA. So we do have some support here. That $45 has been fairly strong on that support here. With the earnings potential for the week, we're looking for a move about $7.70. Let's just call it $8. That's plus or minus. That doesn't mean one way. It's plus or minus. That's the range on what the market makers are looking at here. So 45, basically, just call it 45, could put us back up to like that $53 range, or it can make us break down lower substantially to around below 40, and that would kind of put us below the 144 EMA there, and the same that would be some support if it does break lower, which we've seen that be very strong support in the short term on a recovery here twice, way back in the 12th, the 12/14, so December 14th, and then just the beginning of December as well. We've seen that kind of being a level around that $40 range there. Hey, good sir, ABML has 3 Tesla employees, lithium recycling factory. I know this company. So this is actually my first. Okay, maybe I don't know this company. I thought I did. Um, Interesting. I like it. It looks hella beat up, honestly. Um, I would have to, if you're like, are you investing this long term or something? Like, uh, it is coming down to that 50-day here, bouncing off that 230-ish range. If that can hold, that would be fantastic. Because again, it looks like it was probably just thrown out with the bathwater with a lot of the other folks. Dave, what's up, my friend? XPI long calls, industrial play, and AMD beaten down. You know I love my AMD. XLI, yeah, that's the S&P 500 industry fund. I think it's a fantastic play. If we once hear the deal or play on the sense of having a reopening and potentially trillions of dollars being dumped into the infrastructure here in the United States. At the same time, we're looking for some levels around $95 to be hit. I don't know why my German's coming out. Then we have AMD. This poor soul is trying to recover. It's had a rough weekend. It's basically like it went on a ski trip. It had a great time for a little bit. Like it rode the slopes here a little bit, but then it hit a tree. He lost his wallet. He sadly broke a finger, and he lost his GoPro at the same time on the ski trip, and it's just been very beaten up and just kind of holding this recovery here, potentially around that $84 range. It has been slowly kind of coming down here. If we're looking between the 5 and 8 moving averages here, to potentially try to see this kind of curl, make a nice little a swooping pattern here, and start leveling off here if we build any kind of base around $84. Alan, thank you for the $2, my friend. AMC to the moon. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind in the chat. Oh my, once I touch the chat, it just scrolls up. Here, I'm sorry, folks. Let me try to find something here. Let me go. Yeah, Jared, I try to wear this each time whenever SpaceX launches another satellite to show my support. Okay, here, hold on. I saw RCL. Of course, this is Royal Caribbean Cruise Line here. Kind of making somewhat of a recovery here, breaking into, yeah, almost year-to-date highs. Okay, so before the pandemic, it was trading around $135. Kind of makes more sense looking on the weekly chart. We can kind of get the whole pattern here. But it had a lot of issues around 135. Even going back multiple years, it has not been able to kind of go that. Again, cruise lines, they're kind of a seasonal play, so they kind of come and go from there. At the same time, we're seeing this really strong recovery here because, of course, they've been beat down. They're literally been closed, just like Disneyland in California is still closed. We're seeing this potentially kind of rocket higher here. The next level we're going to be potentially to look at is around 110, and then we have some short-term support around 90. Thoughts on SQ? Yeah, SQ had a quarter. They're pretty heavy on Bitcoin. I think with the old square here, that 89 EMA with a lot of these tech heavy growth stocks have been showing some support around the 89 EMA. Basically going from 280 and dropping nearly, was that $50 to around that, or closing around $50 lower here, but it came down to around 217. We've talked about that 89 EMA multiple times on these very strong kind of sell-offs here. We've seen this twice now, or 3 times now, 1, 2, 3, that we've seen it aggressively pull back to this range and really get a strong bounce. What I would like to do, and I'm going to write this down for myself, is to sell SQ puts tomorrow. And look at this range here, potentially trying to sell it around the 205 to 200 range to see what I can kind of premiums I can get there. David, what's up, my friend? FUV beaten down big time, thinking of making a small investment. Is it time to put in money? Let's take a looky, Lou. That sounds familiar. I think I might own this. I do own this. Yeah, this has definitely been beat down. I own this as an investment as well, where I lock up the money and I can't touch it. I can't touch it, but I tell myself not to. Same one like on SQ. This has been really beat down. Wow, from 36 all the way down to 17. I'm looking for some support around the 89 EMA. You're seeing the momentum here on the TTM squeeze still red here. Would like to see this potentially go yellow for 2 days, and we could maybe see a recovery here. You could be a little bit early here because we're seeing that 5 and 8 moving averages still pretty aggressively pulling down here. On the weekly side, that's not going to be saying too much here as well. Yeah, nothing too much to say there. The volumes on oscillator and on RSI are both kind of somewhat below where I would like to see it. So it's potentially, you could be like an earlier trade kind of come in here, because if this doesn't, the $17 range doesn't hold, we can see another little push level to around $15 to even $14 if more selling comes into the market. But in the short term, that $17.50 could be some support there for you, David. Yeah, you can say that again. That thing dropped. Daniel, thanks for the videos, Ken. You're welcome. And a heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ken, I need you to tell me FSR is going back down so I can buy more shares. Well, if you want me to do that, I can just write a letter and I can tell them to put the stock down to that level. I don't know if you knew that. There's a special mailbox. Only I know the mailbox, and you can just let me know what stocks you wanted to go up and down, and I'll mail the letters. Yeah, Fisker. Yeah, this one is definitely has run. I'm a little hesitant on this one. I think that the people who are trading CCIV jump to this guy. In the short term, I think we could see some very much chop, because very large catalyst green moves like this we've seen in the past has been potentially a pullback. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but just being very mindful. I don't like to buy stocks that are up 32% in one day. I needed to buy it on a pullback. Like you said, you're waiting for a pullback. In the short term, I don't want to buy at 25, but that is a potential level. 2160 is going to be your first, I think, logical level of support, and then to around 1884 would be another level that's kind of worthy. 21 EMA is being hit. Jared, what's up, my boy? David, I finally broke down and bought more FUV. Well, you blah, blah. You should talk to Dave. Looks like Dave is looking. I got that one too. I think I own that one. Let me see here. What was it? FUV. Let me put this in alphabetical order. Maybe I don't. I have to look at my other account. I don't have that pulled up, but I think I have some of that. Oh, Russell. Yep, Disney. Love me some Disney. Of course, this one has also been pulled back. I love my Disney as much as I love my Costco. With that, the Disney company, I just didn't notice they always put the in the parentheses there, or the quotes. Came down to the 21 EMA. Did not sell off as substantial as the other stocks that we saw that really pulled back. And not really pulled back. They just got slaughtered and got torn back from the avalanche known as growth stocks fear mode. We're still trying to break above that $200 range. We've touched it intraday, but we have not closed above it. So that's what I'm really looking for, is that next short-term target around 200. As of right now, we have some support around $85 to $84 potentially. If that does not hold, we can easily see a break 180 to even down to 178. And then from there want to be substantially further pushed down to around 173. As of right now, the trend is still trying to go higher here. But if we do see some chop here, we could see some that kind of a slowly grind lower there. Christopher's asking for run. Are you asking me to go run, or are you asking for run the stock? I'm just joking. Sun run, very choppy here. Very beat down, because you're seeing multiple X on 3 days, X on 2 days, X on 1 day, and X on 4 day, meaning the moving averages are really not looking most positive across multiple time frames. We're seeing this. It previously had some support around the 89 EMA. It did try to pull up, but has not broken above 68. It's showing some support here around $61 to $62 or the 144 EMA. It looks like it just had earnings as well, so that's always a good catalyst to kind of get that behind us. So that could be something that could be beaten down. So Sunrun, I'm not too familiar with this company as well because again, a lot of these solar companies, I just buy the old TAN, and I actually bought TAN last week because it is in the short run holding the 89 EMA around the $96 to $97. Jason, selling CRM, Lemonade, and Redfin for Amazon shares. I love Amazon. I think it's a great, fantastic company. As of right now, we're seeing it kind of hover around that $3,000 range. So Amazon has always had some kind of weird correlation with that $3,000 range. If we can see that go to that $3,000 range, or because if it hits that $3,000 range, that's coming in right where the 200 EMA is as well. So that's going to be a very strong signal if it does show some support there. I think people are kind of figuring out if Amazon is a tech company, is it just a shopping place. I think it's more an a la carte kind of thing in the sense of it basically does everything or anything it wants. But you have to remember their most profitable business is their servers or their AWS servers. Where I forget the percentage. What's the percentage they have on? I know they're the leader. I think they own like 60%. I want to say maybe over. I know it's over 50 at least. And then it's like Microsoft Azure, and then it's like Google Cloud. But Google Cloud is less than 10% if I remember right. John, I agree. I don't own NIO. I'm a Tesla guy as well, but the people love it. Long term for years, nice. Do you think we'll have a reversal on currencies down 30% even after announcing amazing earnings and a dividend payout? Yeah, this is the one I think I own as well. Yeah, I own this one. Yeah, this thing is another terrible looking thing. It's paying a 10 cents dividend, but like look at that chart. Like you can show this to someone that was blind and they would say that yeah, that's a downtrend. This is disgusting looking. Very beaten down, very beaten down, very beaten down. Yeah. Godspeed. AMD has an event this week. I don't know, do they? The new is like are they releasing another GPU or CPU or something? Just wanted to say thank you for all that you do, all the TA. You're welcome, for Christopher. Other worse on than slippery. Other what do you think it could get 100 by end of the year? D nice. What do you think can get 100 by? You talking about NIO or AMD? I think AMD can hit 100 by end of the year. Jason's asking about the Redfin. Redfin, yeah, this is again was hit pretty hard because again, if interest rates go higher, less people are going to be buying homes, blah 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 blah, and of course, people are going to be less posting homes on Redfin or Zillow. But it did have earnings too, so I don't. Again, I'm not too familiar with what did Zillow do last week. Yeah, it kind of pulled back as well, but um, I remember when I had the opportunity to buy a Redfin at $10, way back when. I still remember when I heard about it. I was taking a walk and listened to some kind of podcast, and they said, "Oh yeah, Redfin's gonna be the next thing." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." At the time, I think it was many years ago. It was way like 18 or something like that. It was around $10 or something. But yeah, that's a nice little chunk of change that really has moved substantially higher here. kind of seeing with this really aggressive breakdown here. Again, I'm not too familiar with what happened on the quarter here, but it slammed right into some initial support around $74 to $75 here. Um, on that note, um, that is a very large red candle from 86 down to 74. And that's usually not my favorite kind of cup of tea there. It's water in there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. That is, yeah, very large red candle down. So usually kind of have to wait 2 or 3 days to kind of let the bleeding subside and cauterize. Is cauterizing the right word to say? Yeah, to kind of let the bleeding stop and kind of clog its own whatever. You know what I'm saying? Baby G, Ken, can you check out Cummings, please? What's the ticker for that one? Apple stock. Apple, the apple of my eye. Apple, what do we do with Apple here, huh? Of course, being this Apple is linked to so many ETFs, and sadly, with the ETF that Apple's linked to the Dow, the SP 500, so many other smorgasbord ETFs. And if people are just selling those ETFs, the people that are running those ETFs have to have a certain benchmark and they have to sell and buy Apple because of it. I don't think Apple's a terrible company. I think they do fantastic products. I think everyone can agree that they do fantastic products. Even people who have an Android, they're like, they're pretty good phones. And they are pretty good laptops, let's be honest here. And anything really. I haven't I need to get a new iPad. I need to look at an iPad. Does anyone have the new iPad Air or Pro? I need a review on that one if anyone is very happy with it or not. I just like to consume data on an iPad rather than a laptop because I sit in front of a screen most of the days, or if I'm not sitting in this chair, I'm sitting on this chair with a laptop. That's how bad I am. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break from my computer rig, my 2 large monitors here, and I'm just gonna go sit over here about 4 feet behind me with a laptop. That's, yeah. Welcome to my world. So with Apple here, looking for some initial support around 120. 120 has been a notorious level for Apple support level here. By support, it was previous resistance on the way up. So previous resistance on the way up is now come support on the way down. So that 144 range, the 144 EMA here is hitting that 120. The same note, this is a very aggressive pattern here. I would rather like to see this trade here for like a next couple days or a week here to potentially try to build this like a tight kind of fort or base here before you make any kind of position there, my friend. Entry on Airbnb. Air. Oh, not Airbnb. Is it AR? Is it A? Oh my gosh, I swear this is water here. Anywho, wow, that's a nice little move there, my friend. It looks like I had its first earnings here. Again, not too much data we can go off here because again, it has only been trading for 2.5 months. Initially speaking here, it looks pretty obvious here. We're having a little bit of issues getting above 208 to 210. Definitely want to put an alert on that one. I don't trade this one yet. But if we can get that momentum kicking higher here, we could potentially see that break. We have broken above that a little bit. Some longer dated targets, if we do see it break higher, is breaking above 220 and then 261. Again, that's going to be a fib number here. Actually, I need to update this here. Sorry, 1 second. I need to update this. There we go. Yeah, so, okay, 220, that makes much more sense. So swing high, swing low. So 220 is going to be your very overhead pressure to potentially look at, or overhead resistance. And then 246. So 246 is a great number to potentially see if we do get a recovery and breaking out above some higher ranges here. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. Thank you guys for joining. I saw someone. Tony Robbins says ABML is a building their recycling plant besides Tesla and also has Nancy Pelosi's son working for them and is starting to get government grants already. Oh, that's a you know, there we go, Tommy. Again, I promise you this is water in here. This is not laughing gas or anything. It's just pure H2O from a wonderful three-stage water filter system that I put in myself in my sink. But yeah, that is something to be if it literally has one of the that's an interesting one to look at. I'm gonna put a star next to that one. Thank you for that. I need to look that up for myself, Tommy, to see that with my own eyes. But that's insane. Jason, what are four stocks you would hold forever? Tesla, Apple. Probably I'm gonna be generic and just say Amazon, and then I'm gonna throw in a generic one, and we're just gonna say Berkshire Hathaway. Got me on the spot. Stock target for entering BA stock long term. Okay, so if you want to enter for BA for long term, we want to go swing over to the weekly chart. So if you're looking at a longer term time horizon, we have to look at a longer term chart, right? Like if you're short term day trading, you're looking at a 5-minute chart instead of a year or 3-year chart. So looking at the weekly side here, it paints the picture pretty well. So if I was an artist, if I was Van Gogh or I was whoever, fill in the blank, Bob Ross, we could see that $225 range has been some initial overhead resistance, but that comes in right with the 89 EMA falling down here. So initially speaking, long-term entry would potentially, a starter position for me would be some support around 200 to 202, which is again the 21 EMA, and you have this beautiful upward sloping of the parabolic SAR dots to kind of potentially kind of push it higher here. Mm. Entry for Amazon would be around 3,000, potentially a starting position for me. Kumar, what's up, my friend? NIO and Amazon. Yeah, NIO, again, I don't know if you're in this one already, Kumar. So with NIO, we have to be very careful because it has earnings tomorrow. So hopefully you know that because I know you're a smart individual. So that $45 range, the expected move that we're talking about for the week is nearly $8. So that means the market makers are putting in a price target of basically a swing. They're saying that we know about 68.9% of the move's going to be falling in with that $8 plus or minus range. So that would put up to 53 or even below that 39-ish to $37 range, below the 144 EMA. So looking at those potential targets, I kind of look at those prices here. With that coin flip bottom, as we speak, the NASDAQ is up well over 1.5%. Can NIO rally tomorrow? Yes. I think NIO can potentially run up all the way to $50 on the earnings run. On people trying to get in front of it, maybe just kind of running it up to $50 and then getting right back out of it. But earnings is a coin flip, in my opinion, especially a Chinese company. And then Amazon, yeah, Amazon as well. They have been very much beaten down here. Looking for that $3,000 range to kind of hold and potentially kind of selling some premium down there. Yeah, you're welcome, Chris. You're asking for Docu as well. I am so far behind in these questions, aren't I? I'm so bad. Could we have like 50 people that are currently viewing just leave and then we'll come back in like an hour, and then we can go through the questions. There's just too many questions coming in. I can't handle it, and I'm super slow. So Docusign kind of coming in here as well. Wow, this is more choppy than I thought. Looks like it has earnings on the 11th there. Yeah, this is a very choppy chart here, Chris, on my radar here. Initially speaking here, it has some support coming in around that 144. We've seen it break down to this level before and bounce back pretty hard here, so we could see this kind of bounce back as well. I don't are The bigger question is, are people looking at DocuSign as a stay-at-home play? I think DocuSign's here to stay. It makes it really simple to sign every kind of document online and not having to say hello to people or talk to people. That's my kind of cup of tea. But yeah, the stock's a little too choppy here for me. But initially, some support around 220. And maybe if it does kind of run up into earnings around 250 potentially, it has had some issues kind of really kind of breaking above that for some time. Okay. Okay. Stocks I would recommend for a 12-year-old. I would ask anything if a 12-year-old asked me what stock to buy, I'm like, what do you like? And then buy that. Um, I found out from like I sound like an old guy, but I'm not. I'm only 33 years old. Snap. I was watching some people at work many years ago playing on Snap. I'm like, what is this? They're like, oh, it's Snap, Ken. You send a picture and it goes away. I'm like, what? Why would anyone want that? And then always when I hear these silly things at work, I always have to look it up. Like, I have to thank a lot of people because I got what is Hubs, HubSpot. I bought into Hubs and Zendesk years ago. Um, I haven't ever held it that long in that sense of running it up and selling it out of it, but just listen to what people are talking about. If the people just sit on a park, I know it's kind of with the virus and everything. It's hard to study the human behaviors, but just sitting on a park bench and just seeing what other people do, what they talk about, not like spying on them. I'm not telling you that, but just kind of observe what's going on in the world. Stock for 12-year-old Roblox. Exactly. That's exactly what they'll say. They'll say Roblox and probably they'll probably say like is TikTok public. Yeah. But uh, Johnny Bravo Ken does too good of a job to not get 92 likes. I appreciate that, Johnny. I appreciate it. If honestly, the bottom of my heart, if there's like one, two, three people that get anything out of the crazy stuff that comes out of my mouth that helps them, God, I'm very happy with that. Um, because the YouTube algorithm, you'll go crazy about it. What's the difference between a Roth and brokerage account? A Roth IRA account is basically where you put your only allocated so much amount of money. And then like an IRA account is a little bit different because again, it could come down to not being able to trade certain strategies in it, and at the same time, it's differences on taxes. Mostly, if you're trading for longer term stuff or for longer run of things, a Roth IRAs be best. Brokerage is more if you just want to be trading more speculative stuff, and just again, you're gonna have to be paying taxes now. PLTR and Tdoc, yeah, PLTR is definitely going to be one on a lot of folks' radar this week, I believe. Um, we're seeing some support kind of coming in here on the short term side, around $22.69 here. Um, this one has been potentially trying to hold this level here. If it does have the power and the will to hold this, that would be fantastic. It is it's not going to be the strongest level of support here. Um, if it does want to go lower, if the market takes the PLTR lower, we could be coming back down to 21 to even $20 in the short term. Because as of right now, we're seeing those parabolic SAR dots above the ticks. So above the ticks or above the candles, meaning the trend is still kind of slightly going lower here. And the dots are currently kind of settling around that 31 to 30-ish dollar range. Potentially this will probably print around the $29 range tomorrow, depending on how the stock goes. Would love to see this again. Full disclosure, I own PLTR. It's a long-term play for me, to kind of bounce higher and get back above 27. Just to kind of maybe build a base here. Even if it wants to build a base around 24, 25, I would be very happy and fortunate about that. To kind of build a base here, maybe 10 to a week and a half tight here, around the $25 range. Just kind of like, just take a break here and then maybe get the next catalyst or some kind of move higher from there. Tdoc as well. This is Teladoc, of course. This company is fantastic. I love the company. Like, I think what it does is just absolutely amazing. That I'm able to just call a doctor on my phone and get instant, basically an answer instantly, and then go to the my Walgreens and get my medication or whatever. Like, it's so much a lifesaver in the sense of making things so simple here. Let me actually update these charts here. You know what? I'm just gonna nix that. That's bad voodoo there. Sometimes I wish Thinkorswim devs or their products can just be slightly more easier to use. So with this one, Tdoc, it had a crazy consolidation pattern around 200 here. Excuse me, you can see that that coincide with the squeeze here and then just rip higher from basically 200 in a nice large run here in a very short period of time to 300. Once it hit 308, which is again a Fibonacci number, which again is highlighted on that price target here, but not a Fibonacci number directly. But if we go to, I bet you if we go to this high, it would hit a Fib number. Yeah, so if we hit this high here, it was hitting around 295. If we hit this high here, yeah, not too close, but as of right now, that is the high. So that's where we're pulling the information from. On the way down here, because again, this has dropped pretty significantly here. It is coming around that 144 EMA here, which is that green dashed line here, which we've seen previously showing of some support here. But this is again, I think more people are looking at this as being a stay-at-home play, and just being an all around, just like, you know what, this is we're looking for no longer this because it's not really needed, but I think it still is. I think it's a fantastic company, and it's being I would like to see it a little bit lower to potentially that 205-ish range, and potentially maybe would pick it up there, on my personal opinion. The cow is slow, but the earth is AMC is gonna pump. I think you and Alan are ready to go for that one, without a doubt. Tom is asking for PLTR. We just did that one. Hopefully you caught that. KTOS. Yeah, this is a interesting one as well. This is a larger Kathy Wood stock, right? I always get this one mixed up with something else. What is the... Yeah. Woo! You got it on $5 there? Wow. All right. So again, look what it came down to. It came down to the 89 EMA. I need to make a coffee mug that says 89 EMA and then sell it for $89 and see how many people buy it. Just that sounds like something Tesla would do. But that 89 EMA has been pretty significant here, coming around that $26 range. With that heavy selling here, we are seeing the 5 and 8s coming through the 21 EMA. This is most likely on earnings kind of bounce here. Normally after earnings, I want to give it 24 to even 72 hours to kind of let that news go out to the sound waves or through the internet or whatever, how people get their communication now, through the radio, through whatever, their neighbor, their newspaper. I'm just joking. A carrying pigeon. I don't know how people get their news now. Um, to kind of let them see, like, oh, they missed on earnings. I want to sell out. I want to buy something else. So potentially short term, looking for some support around 26. But yeah, if that does break, we could be seeing to 25. But if that damage holds, stays above 26, that could be potentially building a base there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm only 33, and you must be thinking I'm an old son of a gun. Um, I look younger than you. Oh, thank you. I don't know how you look like though. My top holding is Empus Energy. What's the ticker for that one? Ken, what do you think about calling AKKK 2020 strike 200 will be too high? Can you take a look for me? AKKK. I thought you were just pulling out RK there. Are you talking about RK? That's the only one I could think of. Are you talking about D-Nice? Are you talking about RK? 2023. I'm gonna bet you that the spreads are super wide in this one. Let me just do 200. Yeah, looks like other people have that thought there. Again, that could be selling a premium. Yeah, I'm not saying it can't. You're literally looking at 691 days out on that option here. Let me pull that up actually in Tastyworks, which again, this is what I use for trading, and I love it. And again, if you want to open up an account in Tastyworks, I have an affiliate link down below. So the January 2023, the $200 call, it's in the potential moves here. So that is something that you could consider here. It's locking up quite a bit of capital though. It's a worthy bet. The probability of profit is 14%. The probability of making 50% back at least is 52%, so that's good. The delta is actually fairly high, that being all the way out of this range here. And the theta, again, is fairly low compared to what the price is. But you are paying somewhat of a premium for one leap around $2,200. And a lot of things need to happen for that to kind of come into full swing of things. But yeah, I think Kathy was doing a fantastic job. I kind of understand the outward flows, but I also don't understand on how her funds are not linked to anything. So it's only the market makers that need to make the market on the option side and the stock of stuff. But she just runs her ETF like how she wants to. It's not linked to anything though. Andrew's asking for AEO. Is that American Eagle? Yeah, American Eagle. Which I'm dating myself again. I used to wear in high school. I didn't know it was actually a publicly traded company until like many years ago. So looking here on the weekly side again, in October, or no, sorry, that's like August of, what was that, 19, it hit a high of $30. Of course, since the pandemic of things, it was trading around 14 and then sank lower here. But now we're seeing a very steep, aggressive V-shaped recovery here, breaking above 24.88. The next range to look at, that does have earnings this week too, it looks like. It has earnings on the 3rd after the market closes. So do they have weekly options? They do. So they're looking for an expected move about $2.50, $2.60. So could that put us up to that $29 range? That'd be kind of pushing it, what the market makers are projecting. But look at this chart, ladies and gentlemen. It's been holding that 21 EMA super well here in the short term here in the last couple months here. So the path of least resistance is still trying to going higher. I think retail is definitely coming back. I'm not too familiar with the fundamentals of American Eagle because, again, I'm pretty sure they're selling a lot of their stuff online. Max says, I'm digging the stream, Ken. Thanks for doing this. No problem. So I like to do these streams every Sunday around 9:30 Eastern time. I want to do more, but it's just usually just kind of family comes first, and things like that. And also, Alpaca, if you're watching, um, thank you for tuning me on to WandaVision, or I think it's called Wanda. It's called The WandaVision or something. It's on Disney. Super interesting. I'm 57. Everyone looks younger to me. But you're a digital nomad, so you kind of you're like a mysterious person that we just don't know. You're just the nomad. PLTR price target tomorrow. That's a coin flip in my book. 1993. I would hopefully say above 25. Really upping your stream game with the memes. Yes, a little fun stuff there. Favorite ETF right now, TAN. Um, Futures are definitely looking good. Billy is saying, I'm holding EEM Leaps puts. EEM, that's the international market, right? Emerging markets, yeah. You're holding puts. Leaps. Yeah, it's a worthy bet. You can, yeah, again, you're a free man or woman. I don't know. Billy's probably, well, I know two women that I've met in my life that are named Billy, so I'm not gonna guess here, but yeah, EEM. Potentially, again, we're below the 50-day. We haven't seen below the 50-day in a little bit of time here. At the same note, if it does come lower, we could be looking for around 52.13. But again, a very interesting ETF at the same time. What are my thoughts on Doc? Yeah, Docusign, basically very choppy here. We talked about it with Chris on his suggestion there. It's kind of coming down to 220. The biggest question is are people throwing it in the category of, is it stay-at-home play? I believe it's the future. I think they have a fantastic product, and it's really just the genie out of the bottle kind of scenario. Dave says NVO, their drug, I don't know how to pronounce that, for diabetes may get weight loss introductions. Not only this, but their predicts from heart disease and stroke. What else does it do? Wow. Um, NVO, let's look at the stock. Interesting. Very choppy, but it is holding some of the longer dated moving averages. So looking for some potential around support around 70 to even the $69 range. But the trend is still trying to continue going higher there. So yeah, a very choppy stock. Again, it's a pharmaceutical stock, so you have to be very mindful about the swing highs and lows on whatever announcement or trial that's going on. Billy again asking for, oh shoot, why do I have my chart? NVIDIA. 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 Yeah. So I'm no expert in mergers and acquisition. I did read 2 books about mergers and acquisitions, and I still don't know jack squat about it. The understanding of like the deal that they're trying to purchase or gain to buy this company called ARM Holdings. We're seeing some support coming in around the 89 EMA here, around 536 to 542. That has been some initial choppy support here multiple times. Again, NVIDIA has not been doing much of anything over the last coming months. Somewhat held hostage. It did have earnings, talking about more GPUs going to be coming online. Of course, they did actually highlight and talked about the shortages on chips and GPUs and so forth, and trying to ramp up production from that. In the short term, we're looking for some support to hold. If we can get the base building here, looking on the weekly chart, I actually really like it on the weekly chart here. As long as it stays above that 530-ish range, we could potentially see this kind of slowly chop higher here, but that chart looking like it really wants to break out. Let's be honest, like NVIDIA is making some cutting edge stuff here. Yeah, Bruce, we talked about Tdoc already. As a Tdoc as well, very beat down here, somewhat of a falling knife here, even after their earnings play of losing $3 here. I didn't listen to the call or do the fundamental analysis on the Tdoc, but it is coming down to the 144 EMA with earnings that were announced the 24th. That would be that, yeah. So yeah, it could be potentially this week, maybe trying to build a base here around 220. If it doesn't here, we could see it back down to 200. Uh, bu- 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 you still holding home? No, home. I think I posted this. I'm still, yeah. Sorry, home is the right one. Yeah, I'm still holding home because again, fundamentally speaking, or sorry, technically speaking, it's still holding here. I like the pattern here. I did post this in the Discord and the Patreon and the YouTube membership tab page, on potentially holding this $24 to $25 range. Really looking for this to kind of break above 25.65 and really see potentially a run up to 28 to 30. It would be fantastic if they can hit 32. But yeah, as of right now, it has not really broken below the 23-ish range that I had, a very loose hold on there. IPOF. IPOF, they haven't announced anything, Rob, for IPOF, right? If I'm missing it right, if I'm not mixing it up, yeah, this is still just, it's an unknown. It's literally people are taking two dice, they're rolling it, giving a little lucky blow here, and just throwing those dice down the alleyway to potentially look for a play. Again, don't get me wrong, Chamath Palihapitiya picks really fantastic companies, but again, we have no idea what's going on here. Like, this is a lot of this run up, like a run up to $17.81 because of potentially an announcement, and then coming right back down. It's just a lot of front running going on there. A lot of funny business, as they used to say. IVR MITT mortgage companies. Yeah, I know IVR pretty well because again, a lot of people got onto that after the collapse here. Really still kind of not really getting too much of a heartbeat here. In the short term, we're seeing some consolidation here around $3.80 and $3.75. Yeah, we could maybe see a run higher. We need to see it above basically $4.55. But yeah, that thing has taken on a lot of damage. Ozempic. It's a pretty real blockbuster for a drug. My mom is a physician and is one of her favorites. Nice. Um, Entry for Google. Google. I like me some Google. Google, I think, performing much better than the Apple, Facebooks, and the Fangs they used to call it, Netflix as well, and Amazon. Really, again, fantastic earnings here. It $22.30 of earnings per share. Like, are you serious? Yeah. Of course, that is a huge jump higher. Kind of coming into some consolidation here around that $2,222 range. Even some support coming in around that $2,000 range, basically. Initially, let's see how the overall market, the Nasdaqs, work out this week and potentially kind of trade sideways here. Really, again, some longer dated targets is trying to break above that 2,200 and even that $2,700, which I think Google can easily get to if they have some people behind the wheel over there that know what the hell they're doing. Bu- 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 bu. 3D says, hello guys from NYC. What's up, dude? NYC. You think, do you think we are seeing a sector rotation? Yeah, we did see sector rotation 100%. Yeah. RMO. Because we didn't see a crash overall, because again, if we saw a crash, that means everyone's just selling everything and just and just trying to get out of everything. That would bring everything lower. We're seeing the Russell and the SPY see very nominal kind of pullbacks. Then RMO, is that Romo battery company? Yeah. Yeah, that is. Not everything is created equal in this world. And this one, I don't know the story behind this one, but that is a very heavy downward trending stock here. Initially, almost going to its initial SPAC price at $10 here. So as of right now, the parabolic SAR dots, those purple dots, are just kind of continuously pushing this beach ball underwater here. Michael, what's up, dude? A PFE. Sorry if you're already asked. No worries, my friend, and thank you for being so polite. We appreciate polite people here. Pfizer, yeah, we're getting smacked here with the old Pfizer here. With the Johnson & Johnson announcement being the one shot, this is really just kind of somewhere downtrending here. If that $34 can't really see a base building here, we can easily see this dip lower here, come right back down to $30-ish here with the Pfizer. But if it wants to have some kind of break higher, we're going to be looking for around $35. Thoughts on ENPH? Yeah, this is the one you were just talking about, right, Jason? Let's see here. How do I not have fibs on this? Initially, yeah, look at this. Like, it's coming down to the 89 EMA, kind of sideways action. Like I had an earnings. It just came out of a squeeze, kind of fired short here. So we're looking for some support around 160. If that can hold, we can maybe build a base here, meaning a nice line of like 2 weeks or 10 trading days, just kind of staying in a choppy range and just seeing the moving averages kind of level off here. And then you can potentially try to enter here. I would consider maybe going a little bit too early on this one if you're just new to it, because again, we're still seeing the 5 and 8s are kind of curling back into kind of coming parallel with the longer dated moving averages, and really would love to see it back above 185, 184 there to kind of see that potentially pop higher there. Bruce is asking for CRSP. Is that CRISPR? We traded that on the Discord. If Ryan's listening, we got into it, I believe, around 170-ish, but then it just took a turn for the worse and just kind of came down, of course, with the overall market and growth stocks. There's really going to hit pretty hard here. Initially speaking here, those 5 and 8 moving averages are still somewhat aggressively pointing down to the ground here. So we're seeing that support coming in potentially around 125 to 126. If that breaks, we're going to be looking for 120 to 117 to hold this very strong avalanche down here with this continuous selling going on here. Hey Ken, do you think that S&P 500 can drop to 3,500 or below? Like tomorrow or next week? Like, so the $3,500 level would put it around the 89 EMA. I sure it can. We can look at some like statistics behind that, like what the market makers are currently thinking. So we can look at, let's just say SPX or something. We can look at, so let's say, what do they expect for 3,500, right? 3,500, you said, right? So looking here, again, this is using Tastyworks here. So for March, the AM close for SPX, they're expecting a 6% chance of it going to 3,500. So let's go to a larger channel. Let's go to May. All right. This kind of throws ballpark numbers out there. In May, it's kind of calculating here. Why is it calculating? Let me close that out here. Sorry. There we go. It's a 22% chance. Okay. It is somewhat considered being in the when it's in the orange here via Thinker or where via Tastyworks here. That means it's potentially in the deck of cards that it potentially could happen within that 70% chance or range. AMD long term, yes, I love me some AMD long term. Spook Argo CTRM, please. I see above money 160 coming soon. Yeah, I'm not the world's greatest trader, my friend, on those penny stocks. Um, I just don't do a good job with these. It's just not a good strength point. As of right now, here we're seeing some support coming around $1. If the 5 and 8 do not start curling up here, we could see that cross through the 21, and we can see it below 80 cents to even down to 70 cents. But yeah, this is again, I have no idea what this company does. It somewhat looks like it used to be trading 10 cents a couple months ago, and now it's to $2. I don't know. Mm, CLOV, yeah, they have earnings this week, right? This one has been very, 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 very much beaten down for whatever reason. Really, in the sense of the short report that came out and was stating some facts on questionable business practices, on how they structure things, and really kind of lying about a Department of Justice investigation, things like that. Um, they kind of came out and somewhat cleared it up, but the lawyers kind of cleared it up, so it wasn't really, I believe, a clear yes or no answers. Which again, it's to kind of get things here. But anyways, first earning report coming out. Look at this trend here. It is just going down, 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 down. This is not a fun one to own if you're trying to be a bull here, because that pattern does not really play into your hand unless you're long term, like you said. It looks like, but again, we're talking about this stock is below its SPAC price, so that's not a fun cup of tea to have in that sense. But at the same note, we could get a fantastic earnings, and they kind of like just kind of check all the boxes, and everything looks fantastic. But yeah, this is again with earnings, it's a coin flip, and that very heavy downward trend. I don't want to be in. I don't want to be in that. SLQT. Yeah, this one. What is this? Is this like the internet like marketing company? What is this company? Yeah, this company just don't care, man. This company, like, this is a honey badger right here. This is a I don't care kind of stock here. This looks wowzers. It's like a newer stock too. Looks like it came public here. Normal publicly selling off here for multiple times, at least 2 or 3 time frames, or 2 or 3 quarters here. Third quarter sometimes is always a nice little lucky shot here. That being said, here that is still aggressively trading between that 5 and 8 moving averages. So short term, some support coming around $29-$30, and then some more support coming around 28 there. So a nice little dollop of information there. Oh shoot, something just updated here. Ooh, what did I misread that? Who became a member? I got a ding ding, but I didn't see it. Maybe I didn't see it. Huh. I don't know, I'll have it highlighted here. That's weird. Um, Okay, sorry, my chat just updated. Yeah, I hold AMD long term. Yeah. James asking for ZOM, please. ZOM. Whoo, that's another that's another one to be buckling up here on, because that is a pretty aggressive move higher here coming into that. It has been holding the 5 and 8 moving averages, and now kind of coming down to some support here around $1.84. 163 potentially could be some support coming in, but again, looks like it had earnings and it did a zero, so that's good, right? It didn't lose money. um yeah, that's an interesting looking chart here. Again, like I said with the previous penny stock, I don't do very well trading these because again, um the very small numbers don't do well for me, and then just the price action in these, it's just not really something that I'm very well attuned to. Rob's asking for INO, not NIO. He wants INO. Yeah, this is another antibody play, right? Oh, an antibody play on the pandemic, if I remember right. Um, with earnings as well on the first, so it's coming out tomorrow. Was it before the bell? Probably before the bell, isn't it? After the bell. Okay, interesting. Coin flip, without a doubt, it's earnings. That being said, does it have weekly options? It does. So they're expecting a move about $1.88. Let's just call it $2 to be on the safe side. Oops, wrong button. Um, $2. So we're trading at around 11. $2 down would be putting around $9. So $9 has been a pretty stable level of support there. If it does go lower, $2 higher potentially could be putting it up to 13ish, 13 high, lower 13s. Is kind of looking up some of the previous levels above the 21 EMA. So interesting one to definitely watch for. Not gonna be something I want to play because again, with earnings, coin flip. SOS please is asking from V. SOS, yeah, this is one. I think David, excuse me, brought this one up and then on the Discord on the amount of momentum that we saw going higher. Again, this rocket ship higher ran out of gas and now it's coming back down. Very aggressively here, gapping down on 2 or 3 days here. It looks like initially looking for some support around 450, but this is pretty much a steep falling sharp knife here. If it does not hold the $4.44, easily see it back down to 375, and those would basically be short dated support here. Basically coming into that 378 to 388 is where the potential breakout was previously. So yeah. Elon Musk says hello. Thank you, Elon. Appreciate it. I love your stock. Elon, when can I come by the factory? PayPal hold forever? Maybe. Oh, they had a short report on Friday. Interesting. Um, yeah, bro, I slept on it. Insurance quotes added up to the Elon Musk is saying Bitcoin will hit 60K at 11:09 a.m. tomorrow. Great. Thank you, Elon. What do you think about XL? XL. That's a shirt size I wear. This is the X Fleet. Okay. So X Fleet, I'm trying to remember this. This is they're trying to be something like a workhorse kind of thing where they're doing kind of like those trucks with battery packs, right? If I remember that right. Yeah, very beat down as well. it had some initial support around 19, but that floor came through, and now the floor is trying to rebuild here around $15. And if that floor breaks, we could be coming back down to well below 13 to even back down to 10. At the same note, very very much beat down. I don't know how else to say this again. A little bit more on the speculative side because again, EVs have been super hot here, but not all EV companies are created equal. Oh, we just did SOS. Elon, if you donate a Model Y, I'll do SOS. Just joking. Thoughts on Clover, Johnny Allcash? Yeah, Clover. I think we just did that one, right? That was the one that's reporting on Tuesday. Yeah, very aggressive downward movement. I know this is the healthcare newish age kind of company. Had a short report come out, I believe, in this range here, around that $14 range. And then it just continuously has been going and taking lower here, and really just seeing that momentum really carry through here. Trading well below its SPAC price at $10 here, and that's really kind of heavily selling off here. With that very first earnings, I don't really want to step in front of that freight train, if you know what I mean there, Johnny. Rob's asking for Tell. Hmm. That's an interesting one, Mr. Rob. Um, yeah, I had some support coming around 345. The 5 and 8 haven't crossed through the 21 EMA. It's showing some support around 89. Um, this is something that we need to potentially see kind of level off here around $3. But if the 5 and 8 does not start crossing through here and the selling continues here, we can easily see this break to the 55 EMA or the 50 SMA, which be kind of putting around that $2.50 range. Yeah, SOS definitely needs some help. Yeah. K Thunder UWMC, please and thanks. Thank you for using your manners. I appreciate it. I think we did this one, right? This is the one that really got beaten up. Yeah. Very much just kind of like Clover. This is just a very heavy downward trending chart here. Like I don't want to try to pick the bottom here and try to see this kind of recover here. So be careful with that one. I don't want to step in front of the freight train. This is something that is just could be very damaging here. And I don't have a meme for a freight train, so I need to find a good meme for or a good GIF for a freight train or like an avalanche. But doo. Uh, yeah, thank you, Chris, for reminding everyone. I try my very best to scroll here. I wish there was a better way for me to kind of highlight things while I answer them. But if I scroll and if the more chat rolls in and then the YouTube bar goes higher, it just kind of kicks, it goes to the most recent message. So I kind of lose track, and I do apologize for that. I try to my very best. Um, Google and Amazon will hold forever? Sure, why not? Etsy long term, yes. Love those craft stuffs. Facebook will hold forever? No, no, I don't think so. Oh, poor Grubhub. Weren't they supposed to go? Wait a minute. Am I thinking the right company? Wasn't Grubhub was trying to be acquired by Uber? If I remember, am I thinking that right? Um, Yeah, double top here, definitely around that 83 to $85 range. Really broke past its 200 EMA here. This is not a good looking chart right now because it's below 70 and trying to going lower here. We're kind of in unmarked territory here. We can try to give it some kind of rhyme or reason behind it by looking at these extensions here. So as of right now, from the swing high to swing low here, and then the high again, we're seeing it come into that 100 percentile move here. So that 64 to $65 range, if it does hold, could be pretty substantial. If that does not hold, we're going to be saying hello to $60. Johnny Allcast says, I feel the shorts are scared to come out of the caves after GME these days. Clover to the moon. I hope so. Clover goes to the moon. Just as of right now, the chart looks very, very much downward trending on my perspective. I'm not a big fan of I don't use much social media, as you can see. It never goes up. It doesn't, Chris. It just continues going down. IPHI and VLDR, please. IPHI. Interesting one. So I think I traded this one before. I think I have. I think I traded it back here. This looks so familiar. This pattern right here. I know I traded this one before. Well, a nice looking chart here, honestly. A little bit beaten down here. That doesn't mean that to throw it out with the kitchen sink. But I think some people just, again, that panic selling that we saw last week. Really kind of a little choppy here. If we can stay and start working our way back above that 165 range, I think we could be fine here to potentially 167 to kind of hold this trend going higher. If not, we could see some support coming in around that 160 in the short term to even down to 155. And then VLDR, yeah, that one is interesting one. VLDR, again, sold off a lot of these names like this lidar stuff, coming down to $15.21. That is kind of in around that range where we saw previously heavy selling stopping, but it did have earnings, so I want to wait at least 2 or 3 days to kind of potentially see where it lands before I make my full assessment on it. Disney hold forever? Yes, Jason, 100%. I've been holding it. My cost basis for Disney is like $70. But JBCR3. What is that? Air G, please. Interesting. Is this like a penny? Okay, it was like a $5. Okay, now it's kind of really consolidating here. I really love these really strong consolidating stocks and then breaking out here. Potentially, if it can hold around that 23 to 23.75 range, that could be a nice little movement here. But if we do see that 5 and 8 moving averages continuously cross through the 21 EMA, we could be showing some initial stronger support around 21.50 here. But then again, the main target is trying to get back above 25-ish dollars to get above that 21 EMA to kind of continue that momentum going higher there. Joshua, what's up, my friend? How about FSR? Yes, a lot of people have been asking about the old FSR. My cup of coffee and my bagel that I like to eat, this is not my kind of cup of bagel and coffee here. I don't like to buy stocks that are up 33% in one day. It's a little bit too frothy for me. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but it just like I'm trying to catch a very fast fly or something that is just moving at a speed that I can't keep up with. Because again, with something that moves this high, this fast, lack of better words, it could come down pretty high and that fast. And I would rather look at some support levels around 2160 to around 1884. I know that seems insane, but things do come back a lot of times. Could you have Discord sub chat priority and just glance at YouTube chat here and there? What do you mean there, Johnny? I don't know what you mean by that. LLY. Eli Lilly, right? Yeah, yeah. Ooh, wow. That's a nice looking chart here. It's kind of holding the 21 EMA here, coming back down. If it does pull back, we have some support around 195. But that's a nice looking chart here with a squeeze setting up. That's a good looking chart, Chris. Honestly, if we do get a nice little smooth higher, that 210 is going to be the first initial level resistance, and then 220 to the upside. Um, I thought it was Postmates. Yeah, I don't know. I always forget the two mixed up. Yeah, laser is an interesting one to look at too. Yeah, let's look at laser. Yeah, that's look, it's coming down to the 21 EMA here, and just really getting smacked like that. Yeah. Mm, let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I was getting. That was weird. I was getting a weird message on the YouTube thing. Suggestion: the audio stream output razor. Okay, I don't know what that means. Thank you, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. On the manager tab, little red or white text came up on it. It was weird. LAZR. Okay, looking at this one, yeah, very much coming down to the 89 EMA as well. Initially, short-term support around the 89 EMA, so that $26 to $25 range. If that doesn't hold, we could see this definitely print lower to the 144 EMA around $23 to $24. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A TME T um 10-cent music entertainment. Huh, interesting. Very kind of high tight pattern here, like tight like a tiger. Initially looking at this earnings coming out the 22nd, so towards the end of March. Um, Looking at the pattern previously we saw has been very lackluster, but it's been a since the last quarter has really just taking off here and multiple gaps up. I'm not too familiar with the company here, but very interesting here. Looking for some initial support around 24.91. Let's just call it 25, and then 23.35 again. That's where the 50 SMA is currently lying here to kind of see here. AES. Ooh, that's a nice looking chart here. No idea what this company does, but yeah, look at that pattern between that 21 and 34 EMA. Once it kind of got away from the 21 to too far of a percentage, it kind of came right back down. and now showing some support around the 50 SMA here, with a little bit of chop going on. It already had earnings, so yeah, if it can stay above that 2066 to $26 in the short term, that would be fantastic. Maybe kind of consolidate here a little bit to maybe get its next little leg higher here. Do you think Tesla has been having some room to run downwards, trying to find a good entry point here? Yeah, Tesla is a very difficult stock to look at, in the sense of trying to find a good entry point, because Tesla is going to be trading differently than it has been in ever, because now, since Tesla is linked to the S&P 500, guess what? It's in the big boys club, and it's going to be going with the tides. So if the tide wants to go higher, it will take Tesla with it. If it wants to go lower, this is more the case with panic selling or just people getting out of the market, transitioning, market rotation, whatever. That's going to be seeing it come into Tesla. Initially speaking, we do have some short-term support around $675, but we know that if that does not hold, then we see the 5 and 8 moving averages continuously cutting us lower here. We could see some support coming in around the $600 range. But if we get like a V-shaped recovery and just kind of do a bat out of a hell kind of scenario, we need to see it break above the $775. Don't flex your average price. I'm only 12. You'll get there one day, my prompt friend. Just keep your head up and a positive attitude. Rusty Flying Line. Hey, Ken, could you take a look at CRBP? Eek. I can tell you that was a pharmaceutical stock, because with these dips down like this is not a fun one to look at. Kind of making somewhat of a recovery here, but just like whatever happened here in some kind of trial that went wrong or didn't get the results they were looking for. Yeah, that's not a really good looking chart here on the way I look at charts. Going to bless you all with the sleeper here. Stem cell, cancer, lungs, new approvals, trading. 10 cents being, since it was, is this stock like less than a penny? Because then I'm not gonna. Okay, it's a little bit more than a penny. Okay, it's at 10 cents. Looks like that move or that sleeper is kind of baked in there already, my friend. Big O, because again, it went from 0.00069 to 17 cents. So there's definitely people that know about it. And okay, what am I looking at here? Oh, okay, Johnny. Okay, yeah, I know Johnny. Like, I think you know Johnny, that you can ask me any questions anytime via the Discord, right? Um, I want to give that the. I want to be. I hope people appreciate the time that I do this again. Um, I can talk about stocks all day, so FR looks like a put. F Fisker definitely is. Yeah, that's a lot of froth cooked into that son of a gun. Matthew's also saying I'm thinking about buying puts on that. Yeah, more people buy the puts. We'll see what happens. Apple getting a nice bounce back this week, Chris. I hope so. I hope so as well. Again, hoping is not part of my trading plan, but I'm looking for that $120 level to hold there. Yeah, the LiDAR stuff is. I always remember what Elon said about LiDAR, if he's still in the chat here. Um, they don't use LiDAR because it's not the most accurate. It's not cost effective. Ken, how are you feeling about PLTR, Matthew? I'm holding PLTR long term. That being said, my cost basis for PLTR is very low. It's around the $9 to $10 range, so I can withstand some more pain than other people. So that's kind of give you that transparency on that. And at the same time, it's a longer term hold for me, so I'm looking to hold for well over 18 months. Easy's asking for Plug. Yeah, Plug was definitely a crazy runner here on multiple gaps ups of last or the beginning of the year here. Um, and now seeing it kind of selling off here. Bouncing, guess what? Off the 89 EMA here. So we're looking for that short-term support around $43 to hold. And potentially start seeing the 5 and 8 moving averages starting to level off here. So that's a fairly good sign there as well. What is TSM doing? Chris is asking. Yeah, TSM with the chip shortage and all this kind of stuff going around, and I think what people don't quite understand and what that really means is like it's kind of a good problem to have. Like, but at the same time, that means that we have so much growth in a lot of the sections here. So at that same note, if we can stay above 122 to 120, I think this trend could be still fine here. TSM is the leader and is really has made a lot of stuff for, of course, AMD, Apple, and so forth. V's asking you, what are my thoughts for the market for the next week? I'm just going to be looking straight at the NASDAQ here. I think we can easily see some chop coming in here. So I think the NASDAQ, as of right now, you can see already it's kind of up well over 1% here. I think we could potentially see it run up a little bit higher here, but you can kind of see where I have my alerts at. I really need to see it back above 13,300-ish to really kind of get some kind of a significant impact. Because again, it's just chop between that 12,700 to 13,300. That's just chop for me and the way I look at things. What are my three top dividend stocks? I don't own many dividend stocks, to be quite honest with you, and I don't own them because of the dividend stock either. I'm not really the right person to ask that one, the real one. Um, Thoughts on ZM, please. Yeah, they got earnings this week as well. So zoom, zoom, zoom. Could be going boom, boom, boom. We don't know. It's really going to be. We'll see how it goes and how people again. Earnings is a coin flip. So yeah, keep that in the quiver, as they say. With the expected move for the week of being $50, so $50 where we're currently sitting at, could put it up to that 425, which we saw previously resistance before. And at the same note, looking for $50 lower potentially to 325 which would put it past that pretty significant support we've had multiple times at the 200 EMA here. Spot at the $294 strong resistance. Yeah, so the 300 to 299 range, I have some support coming in there. That was a previous resistance or resistance on the way up here. As you say, yeah, the 294.86 is a very strong number as well, which we saw multiple kind of bouncing patterns coming in here. That's kind of where that wick, the bottom of the candle did hit, it looks like. But yeah, what happened to Spotify? Like, what's cooking over there? Why are people so not happy with it? Like, I lose my Spotify every day. I love it, love it, love it. Um, that being said, it is below the 89 EMA, but it is holding that Fibonacci number here around 300. But again, if that does not hold, we're looking for around 290 to potentially hold that up there. Let's do a couple more, and then I'm going to call it a night here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what's wrong with T? Nothing's wrong with T. It's just, again, people want faster, stronger growth. Once we start seeing a slowing of higher rates and other various factors, people will be coming back to AT&T. KSS. Kohl's, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Holy guacamole. Good for them. They made a really strong recovery here. Good for them. We're kind of coming into that topping where we saw previously before it broke down here. Um, Looking for around that $60 range to potentially be that next overhead resistance. But again, we're looking here on the weekly side. So that's a longer dated chart here. If it does break 60, we're saying hello to 70. In the short term, we're going to be looking for some support if it does pull back to around the $50 price-ish range. So we've seen it pull back to the 50-day couple times here for some support. Has earnings on the second here. What's the expected move for the week? $6.30 plus or minus here. So yeah, that could easily break that $60 range if there is some positive momentum behind it on earnings. But again, earnings is a coin flip. Jay says, please say something about Etsy. I love my artsy stuff here. With Etsy, super strong quarter. Yes, fantastic, right? Initially looking at some overhead resistance around that 240-ish range. And at the same time, 240 range being above, being some overhead resistance. But if that we want to continue past that, longer dated targets would be around 296 to 300 on that radar. But with the selling of we saw coming into earnings, but with earnings kind of giving that jolt back into life here, looking for some initial short-term support around 194 to 195. Doge, I don't trade much of the Bitcoins or the crypto stuff. DMT, yeah, this one is super strong here. We have some short-term support coming in around $62.53. I need to move that up higher. Did sell off towards the end of Friday because again, heavy growth stocks really got sold. Has its first earnings coming out on the 4th this week as well, so be mindful about that to see on how that could potentially be. I don't think this has weekly options yet, so it doesn't have weekly options to kind of give us a better perspective of what the market makers are looking at or projecting out. But this has been a super strong stock, continuously running higher here. Initially looking for some more support coming in around that 62, 67-ish range. If that does not hold, we're going to be coming out of the 34 EMA. The trend has been somewhat broken in the short term with that 5 and 8 moving averages kind of starting to curl over here now. So that's where we're kind of looking at the yellow line to potentially give us some of that potential support there. Um, what's up, man? Love your content. Thank you, Fee. Is it feta? I love feta cheese. What do you think about NNDM? NNDM, yeah, that got slaughtered. That thing, that shook some folks last week. We talked about this that pattern around 1750-ish or 18 $18 kind of failing here. Then we had the aggressive downward movement with a gap down. Basically, it broke the 34 and closed below the $13 range. Then really just took us lower here with a bounce off the 89 EMA. So that's the support. What we're currently looking at is around $9.61 in the short term to potentially kind of help us here. With potential earnings coming out again, they don't have much revenue. So I hope people's expectations are somewhat are not tethered to having a like crazy, excuse me, not having a crazy earnings per share here, because again it's really just in like the research and development kind of it has a product, it's building up the potential to start rolling things out, but again the pandemic has slowed a lot of things down for them to potentially to do that. They have raised a lot of stock offerings, so they have more than enough money to start buying things and acquiring things and throwing it into research. So, with that being said, we're looking for some short-term support around 950. If that don't hold, we're going to be coming back down to potentially $8. Joe's asking, are you a day trader, swing trader, or long-term investors, or do you dabble in both? Mostly swing to long-term. Day trading, I'm terrible at, Joe. I don't do it very often because again, um, I'm an emotional wreck at times. I don't like to see prices fluctuate so fast. That's the reason I don't like a lot of the penny stocks because again, they fluctuate too much for me. Free paper cut says, "Hey Ken, how about Costco?" Yeah, Costco. What are we gonna do about them? I ordered a new fridge from Costco, so I just gave them a couple $1,000s. Um, that being said, it's somewhat free falling here. I guess hopefully the earnings report will have a special line item on on how much Ken has spent at Costco with my Costco card. But with that being said, this thing is not looking pretty. Even though I think most people know how much I love my Costco. This chart is not looking pretty at all. It's very much getting to the sign of being oversold here. Um, by oversold on the daily side and on the weekly side, it's starting to really sell off here on the weekly side. Look at this large red candle here. In just 1 week, we're hitting the 50 SMA here on the weekly side. Potentially could be some level of support on earnings this week. We're looking for a move of basically $15. So that's plus or minus. So if the numbers aren't looking great or whatever reasons, because again, they are raising the rates for their employees to $16, which I think is very fair and equitable. And honestly, very from my position, I think it's a fair thing to do. But that 330 range, that short-term support, we're looking around 325 to 320. If that does not hold, we could easily come back down to that 309 to 310 range if that selling really wants to continue with the higher expense rate of, again, what's the largest expense for a lot of companies is manpower, aka the staff, aka payroll. So they're just raising their payroll $1 to $16 minimum wage. So yeah, let's take again. Again, I look at it like sure, but what other company do you go to the store every week and you see the same people there for years? I hope they would sponsor me. If Costco would love me some sponsor me. SOS, we did SOS. SOS is needing help without a doubt here. IVR, not really much to say there, honestly. IVR has been very much beaten down and just hasn't really completely recovered from the pandemic sell off. Snap as well. Snap, someone talked about Snap here, going through these pretty fast here. Have been holding that 21 EMA here. Did sell a little bit off onto Friday here, but again, guess what? Held above 60. So 60 to $59 is going to be your first level support here. If that trend wants to go higher, we're going to be looking for that $75 range. But will the market keep falling this week or have a strong comeback? Asking Charlie. I don't know. Like it could be a lot of different things. A couple things you need to be fully aware about. We do have a lot of earnings coming out. We have here's the earnings calendar. I can post this in the comment section down below. You can kind of keep that on a tab or a bookmarker, whatever how you do things. But we have Workhorse, which is God bless them. Berkshire Hathaway, NIO, Zoom, Target, Fubu TV, Dollar Tree, Snowflake, Kroger, Costco, Smile, BJ's, Purple. Again, remember Purple from Wall Street Bets pumping that back up in August. Only reason I know that it happened in August was because that's when I had my hernia and I was in the ER and I was laughing and the doctor was like, "Why are you laughing at?" I was like, hundreds of people just lost money because they bought a meme stock. Um, yeah. Anyways, so this is a great little thing to look at. I love me some Okta. American Eagle is an interesting play as well. But yeah, definitely a fun thing to look at and kind of look at a little visualization to kind of help me keep track of what's going on in earnings there. Do-ba-do-ba-do. Uh, did you sell anything, Ken? Did I sell anything? I don't think I sold much. I did throw some like speculative SPACs that I had out in the short term because I was just done with them, and I'm just the whole Lucid thing honestly gave me an upset stomach. So I've kind of been very particular on that kind of sense of like I threw out a lot of the very low, like less than 1% or 1.5% of the portfolio stocks and options out in that sense. Day trading is very relaxing, really. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It lasts for 1 or 2 minutes. It's not relaxing for me. Like, Target, yeah, Target has. I love me some Target. Love taking my daughter there. Great store coming out the second. Again, could this be a potentially next level stimulus play? People spending money at Target, people spending money at Apple or whatever. At the same note, we're looking at to kind of, I want to compare it, but Walmart had earnings as well, and they kind of gap down pretty bad here and still continuously selling off. But I think that's tied to other things for the old Walmart with Target here. Which I think you guys have a nice target, Chris. Don't you guys have one in Bonita Springs area? That 55 EMA is the short-term support. The expected move for the week is $13.16. Let's just call it $13. If that does sell off, we can be looking for around the 89 EMA or the 175 to 177 range to potentially kind of hold. But in that run, we could easily see that run to 170 or below as well. We are seeing a little bit of an issue trying to stay above that 190 to 187 here as well. But again, there's just so much to really tie into this. We really need to see the next card being dealt here, and that next card is the earnings. Ba-do-ba-do. Ba-do-ba-do. Oh yeah, I think anything is easier than crypto trading. Let's be honest. See, it's the I don't want to yeah I don't want to do anything with trading cryptos. There's more like throwing some discretionary cash at. I'm not too gun ho about it. Digital Nomad, support the channel. Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Um, let's do a couple more here. Oh, nice. Yeah, the target I remember is really nice. The super targets, I guess they call them. Nice. That's cool. I kept it in during the dip. It's a little late to sell, or could I keep now? And since it's already dipped, Trader One. That's a very difficult something to look at with NNDM. It's always going to be coming up to your plan if you had some targets to kind of get out at. It's always difficult to like, hey, I wanted to get out when it broke $12, but guess what? It just gapped down that one day, and it really just kind of threw a wrench into your potentially your game plan here. There's other strategies that you can consider, Trader One, to potentially kind of help yourself, as maybe selling some calls, depending on how many shares you have, to kind of create some of an income back to that, to kind of potentially protect it if it goes further down. All kinds of different various components on that. But yeah, that thing is definitely has taken on a lot of damage here. We'll see on how this one trades for the rest of the week, but a lot of damage has been done in NNDM. Ken, did you do CCIV already? No, we did not. I was in this, luckily got out of it. Uh, Actually, I got out of it right before this little move higher here. But this gap down lower, I'm glad I wasn't part of this. This was very nasty downward move here. Initially speaking, we're looking for some resistance or some support building around $30 to $31 here. If that can kind of get the 5 and 8 moving averages start like leveling off here and curling here again, we can potentially see that another spike higher here again. The deal has been announced. It's Lucid Motors. Churchill's merging with them, owning X amount of percentage of the company or whatever, and really seeing this one play out here. Um, that being said, we could see some continuous selling coming in here because of whatever reasons behind it. Because again, people are just buying into the deal. Are people really buying into this to hold for 5 to 10 years? I don't think there's many people actually doing that. Holding something for 5 to 10 years, I don't know many people that have the cojones to do that, to be quite honest with you. Mm, Earnings March 10th for Tattoo Chef. What do you think about Tattoo Chef? TTCF. Yeah, that one has been kind of very choppy here. It was choppy around that $25 range, then kind of sold off pretty aggressively here. Now we're looking for some support around $20 to $19 to kind of bounce around. At the same note, you've got earnings coming out, like you said, on the 10th. Very risky on the coin flip of that. It's its first earnings too, so I don't want to be a bag holder of this one. My personal opinion, what I would do, I don't know the fundamentals part of the story. I've tried some of their cauliflower rice mix. It's pretty good, um, but I haven't seen it in Costco for a little bit either. So it hasn't been there. But it doesn't have weekly option. Yeah, it doesn't have weekly options, but it has the 10th. You said it's coming out the 10th, right? So it's right before monthlies. Um, yeah, initially looking for some support around 19. Honestly, it really needs to get back above these moving averages here because again, it's having a lot of resistance around that $24 range, $25 range. The monthly move is $4, so that could get enough steam to go higher here. I just don't know where this fits into the grand scheme of things. Favorite beer stock? I don't actually drink beer, so I don't know. Ken, do you mainly have a very long-term perspective when taking a position, or do you swing trade typically? What's your hold period for new positions? Swing trading is at least when I'm doing options. I'm looking at options at least 45, mostly 60 to 90 days out. And then longer term stuff, I love buying leaps in a lot of companies. So I'm holding for 6 months plus for swinger trades on leap calls. And then long term stock positions is well over years. Um, Charlie's asking for PDCE. Never heard of that one. PDCE. Wow. Oh, good. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna be calling it a night here. Um, so yeah, this is an energy looking company. Very heavy move here. Is this something to do with the stuff that happened in Texas here? A little bit of a blow off top here. It's very far away from the 21 EMA with a very high earnings here. Because again, if this has anything to do with the Texas energy crisis and freezing there, the ice age as we call it. Um, Potentially looking for some short-term support around 32.25, but then support coming back down to 30. In the run of things, this is looking pretty strong here. It is on the weekly chart. Again, the weekly chart, we're hitting that resistance around $35, which is again that falling 200 EMA here. But again, the stock has been somewhat of a downward projections for a while here. I'm looking for reverse green candles for Tilray. What's Tilray? What is Tilray? I can't remember. I think I can just write it in here, right? TLRY. I was thinking. I want to say T Ray. That's what they should make the ticker. Tilray on the daily chart is looking in the short term some support around 24.50 here. But with the momentum that we're seeing here, this can easily do that about face like we're talked about and make a really strong recovery higher here. But yeah, you're gonna be, it sounds like you're more of a day trader. And I don't know the premise of trying to look at Tilray for a quick turnaround here. We did CTRM. I don't have much to say about that because it's considered somewhat of the penny stock here. Sophia GEVR, please. Thank you for all your help. Thank you. Thank you for being very polite. GEVR. Yeah, again, a lot of the charts look fairly much the same because again, we're seeing pullbacks. Again, the overall market did pull back. Not really holding a particular moving average here. So initially speaking here, we could be seeing some support on those previous gap ups here. So kind of pulling around $8.50 to $9 could be your short-term support. If that selling continues, we could see it back down to $7. Very much going to be tied to the 5 and 8 moving averages pulling through and kind of seeing it kind of start curling and going through here. Rocket calls Charlie. Yes, I'm in Rocket. Yes. We'll do eBay and then we'll just do a quick market review and then we'll call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. eBay, a bounce. I don't think a bounce can happen this fast here. I'm not the fan of just buying these very quick kind of like a bouncy stuff here because we have 3 large red days coming through here. So potentially, if this wants to continue, we're going to be potentially looking for $56 to $55, maybe to kind of stop here, or if it can build a base here or kind of level off here around 57. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look at the futures here. So S&P 500 as of right now is up 0.75%. Or 28 points here. So going to the SPY here to kind of give a better roundabout stuff what we could be looking for. Initially, we want the SPY to kind of stay above that 378 to 375 and try to make its way back up to 385. 385 would be a nice level to kind of start putting its head back above the 21 EMA there. And then going to the NASDAQ, as of speaking in the futures, we're up just slightly over 1% here, about 136 points, and that can transition to QQQ. That is showing some initial support coming in around 309 to 310 if that selling does continue here, and maybe some consolidation and short-term support coming in around 315. With the market being up just slightly right now, we could see a potential bounce higher to around 321 to 324 and maybe get somewhat of a pullback at those levels, can kind of creating a dead cat bounce. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so very much for stopping by. If you're interested, please join the Discord, check the affiliate links out, and again, thank you so much and have a fantastic trading weeks, and hopefully we'll see you on the next live stream or the next video. All right, guys, Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.